Hi YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I am Adrienne. I live in New York City. I love playing with makeup and I am back from Florida. I just got back last night. So this is my series where essentially I have shot my stash, played only with that makeup all week, and then I make some decisions at the end of the week. And this makeup actually all went on holiday with me. It went to my mom's house in Florida. A very, very busy week. A lot of going to garden centers and buying a lot of plants and going to the beach with the dogs and going to the pool and also working. Excuse my nails. I'm testing what nail polish I'm gonna wear this week. So for days when I am down in Florida, sunscreen is the #1 thing. I easily get melasma. I already started to develop it again. It peeks through super easily for me in the summer, especially in that type of sun. So I have to use really good sunscreen. I actually finished the sunscreen I prefer, which is from Etude house. It's the Sunprise mild watery. I love that stuff. It looks beautiful under makeup. So I have moved on to the EltaMD UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46. This I don't love as much. I just put it on and it feels fine on the skin and it actually sits under makeup okay, but I don't think my skin likes the second ingredient in this, which is octinoxate. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's fine with the zinc, but just not with that second ingredient. So I'm still gonna try it and test it because I have it. I know my dermatologist really loves it because it's specifically for skin types that are prone to hyperpigmentation and rosacea. I do have rosacea along my jawline. So I'm still using that one. I'm still on the fence about it, but that I will be using all of this week as well. For foundation, what I brought with me was the Merit foundation stick. I have mine in the shade Linen. I just thought this would perform very well and kind of be easy because that's what I was just thinking about all week, is how to have easy makeup without an issue. And I really like this foundation stick because it's not heavy. It blends out really well with a brush. And it just provides like a light tint, like not anything too camouflagey, because as I am getting color from the sun and whatnot, I didn't want anything that felt too much like a mask, or that later on in the week as my skin color was changing, that it wouldn't work for me. And what I found with this was even when I was at my fairest on the first few days, it worked nicely. And even as I'm like now at my darkest, it just brightens my skin up a little, evens it out, everything just a little, but doesn't just look like a caked on layer. What's nice about the complexion stick from Merit also is that you can like build it up a little. So I'll go back in. So here's where I have a lot of my melasma. And it provides a little more coverage, but not a ton, not like a ridiculous amount. I also was using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Madeleine, mainly to cover this little guy here and to brighten a tiny bit under my under eyes. And I only did this because I forgot to bring like an eye brightener. I wouldn't normally use this product underneath my eyes because it could be a little drying. It was okay. But it's not my preferred product for under the eyes. So that was essentially my foundation. I brought with me a contour stick by M Cosmetics. I have 2 of these, and this is the more cool tone color, Terra. So I would just sort of do this. Now I love these. I think they're a fantastic product. I just wanted to refamiliarize myself with the cooler color. And then I also brought with me the So Soft from M Cosmetics in Pearl Tea. This one's really pretty. It's almost like a bronzy type of terracotta color. I'm just gonna use it as part of my bronzing because I wanna use the other blush too that I brought. This is a blush though, and it looks beautiful as a neutral blush. But again, I just kind of wanted to show you all the products I used. Use my stippling brush here And I found that the colors combined from the Pearl Tea as well as Terra really make for a natural bronze look. I hope you can see how those two colors are blending. I'm blending them up and around, and they're just creating this really nice shade that makes for a really pretty bronzer. And I really just love this formula so much, and it lasts all day. I went to the beach, I went to the swimming pool. I was sweating profusely at these garden centers in the afternoon, and it just performed so well. The color really didn't move, and it just looked really pretty. The blush I brought was from Rose Inc. This is the lip and cheek color in Heliotrope. It's this one right here. I had gotten this in a Sephora kit, and I had never really cared to try the Rose Inc brand, and I'm not even sure why. The packaging is really nice. It's magnetic. It has a unique shape, but not too bulky, but definitely, you know, very pretty. And I have been wearing this blush all week, and it is really a beautiful, beautiful, neutral, rosy colored blush. It brings so much life to the skin. I love the formula because it's a stiffer cream, similar to the Stila convertible lip and cheeks. It has a lot of that kind of vibe. It's a very sticky formula, but that stickiness makes it grip the skin so much better than some of the too thin kind of products. And it just blends in really nicely on the skin. So I went ahead and I just put some on the lips. On the lips, this is not my favorite shade, and this is also not my favorite product for the lips. It's just, I don't know if you could see how it kind of just grabs. It isn't nice. It's not even particularly hydrating or comfortable on the lips. I definitely prefer the Stila convertible cheek and lip colors. Those are much more smoothly pigmented, that they sit on the lips really nice. Now, to control some of that shine that you see on my face, especially when it's hot, humid weather, I actually brought along the NYX HD finishing powder in the shade Banana. I know I like this, especially for Florida. It's this product here, and I just find it sits really nicely. So I just use a fluffy brush. I don't pick up too much of it because it can build up on the skin and look heavy. But if you do a light coating, it just brings down the shine just enough. So I hope you can see, like, it just controlled the shine without adding a lot of bulk to the skin. Quickly filled in my brows with the Profusion pencil in soft black. This is the Good Day Brow. I've been using this up religiously week over week. I still have quite a bit left in the world of micro pencils. It's a good micro pencil. I'm actually even warming up to the color because now that I have these brighter kind of ashy highlights, my hair, when it's a little dirty, you know, it really can look very, very dark. And I do think it's an interesting balance. And so, I don't know, it's kind of moving from a ho-hum product to pretty good product, actually. Lasts all day to the eyebrows. I never have an issue applying it or anything. Really good amount of pigmentation without being kind of silly and too pigmented, so you're like drawing crayons on. It's just the right amount. So I actually really do like it. So if you're in the market for a micro pencil, you might want to check this one out. Of course, tried and true, I took my Smashbox Photointensify eyeshadow primer. It worked like a charm on the eyeshadow looks I created, and I just put some on right now so we can do a quick eye look. The palette that I chose to bring with me to Florida was from Nomad Cosmetics. It's the Fêtes de Provence eyeshadow palette. I hadn't used this one ever, and it's this gorgeous color story here. And I had had such a nice time using their autumn palette, the Hudson Valley palette. I was so impressed with the quality. I was so impressed with the mattes that after I used that palette for a week, I actually went ahead and I purchased this one as well as the Whistler Lodge palette. I hadn't used either of them before the beginning of last week, and so I went ahead and I dedicated myself to using this one. I will insert some looks as I'm doing my look today and kind of talk to you about what I thought. I'm just starting with this sort of berry shade. So I think one of my first looks, I used a shade just like this one, but the redder one with a lot of the yellows. And I thought it was a very pretty look, but I think that's when I started to realize how surprising it was that the mattes are not anywhere near as friendly or blendable as the Hudson Valley palette, which I'm very disappointed in. So of course I picked an extremely difficult shade, so that way I could kind of just show you. I have to just work very, very hard to get a good blend. To help me blend, I was using that NYX powder, the banana powder, which assists especially around the edges when I was like kind of growing tired or a little frustrated. But it's still just a kind of formula that the pigment is just not blending perfectly out. So I don't know. I honestly don't know which came first, the Hudson Valley or this palette, or if they're the type of small brand that actually fusses a lot with their formulas, or if it's just these colors. But I didn't have a great time with this palette. Actually caused quite a lot of frustration. I'll insert a couple more looks as I just do this one eye. I'll do the other one off camera, but I hope you can see I've been blending for a while. And though it's a pretty cranberry shade, it's just kind of splotchy. I'm gonna come in with more of that cranberry color. And I'm going into the shade Rosé over here. It's sort of this like Pepto-Bismol pink. It's pretty, it's brightening. It's a very beautiful color story concept, and there's all these gorgeous embossments like a bee, a daisy. It's just very happy. It really did attract me. I tried to build up some depth to it by packing it on, but it's really not working. I will go in with Hot Alps, this dark gray, and try to get some depth. So this kind of charcoaly gray, I used a little and I was just hoping I can get it to blend. It's just also looking like a little muddy. I'm gonna go ahead and use the topper, this one right here. Not the biggest fan of the color. It's sort of a duochrome, but you see what I mean by being very thin. And when I put it on, it doesn't have enough body to it to kind of go on its own and be very impactful. So then I have to end up kind of spraying it. So that definitely works better, spraying, but even so, it's just not as sort of spectacular as I would have imagined. And so I did create a few looks with this, and although I love this mustard, this color is really interesting. It's sort of a flip yellow with lime green. I did like the look with that. And this one's more glittery. This one was pretty flat though. It's sort of like just a sheen. Doesn't have that same glittery look. I already showed you this one, which is more similar to this one. I'll show you the purple, which was again much more flat, not really a topper. So these two are kind of related. And then lastly, that periwinkle color is more of a topper as well. So there are like three shades, these three that are more like toppers, and these two that are more kind of flat. Let me do the other eye and we'll finish talking about this palette. So there you have the eye look. not very happy with it. I had to go back into the other one and darken it up. And that's what was happening with this palette, was there were so many inconsistencies with it that I just found myself spending a lot longer doing my eyes and not even really loving the outcome. The way that the colors, that the shades layered over each other, I thought was very inconsistent. And even though I just absolutely adore the color story, it's not enough for me. And so, although I had a great experience with that Hudson Valley palette, not the best experience with this one, I am actually going to go ahead and declutter it. I am hopeful that I have a better experience with the Whistler Lodge. So I will be playing with that one soon. Yeah, I don't really love what's happening. There was also a lot of fallout. Let me put on this mascara, which I've been using, the Lash and Roll e.l.f. mascara in the shade Brown. It is supposed to be a dupe for the Benefit Roller Lash mascara. So there you have it. I put it on. I really don't like this mascara. I was mad at myself that I brought this mascara with me all week. I find that it is so gummy. When I put it on, I have to either immediately put on a second coat or kind of just forget about it. I also don't feel like there's a ton of product that's coming out on the brush. There's almost nothing. So when you are putting it on, there is enough that it forms this kind of hard gumminess that when you go in for a second layer, because you kind of have to, and sometimes I don't personally put on a second layer or a third or a fourth, with some other mascaras, as long as there's enough product on that first swipe. And with this one, there just isn't. I don't know why folks are saying, other than the packaging, that this is like the Benefit Roller Lash, because I actually really like that one, and I loved their brown version of that mascara. And I don't remember having any of these complaints with it. For lips, I don't have a lot that I used. There are two products I don't want to talk about just yet. I'll be doing dedicated videos on those, but hold your horses. They'll be worth it, I promise. I didn't include this in the Moira video, and it was just because it was in my purse. This is their hydrating lip oil, the Glow Getter lip oil. It's like very highly shimmery, pinky lip oil. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. This is in the shade Champagne Kiss. It has a very thin doe foot, but it has a nice curve to it. So I just put on one layer of that, but I hope you can see. It is very gloopy. So even though that doe foot doesn't pick up that much product, it's enough that the product, when it actually sits on your lips, it's just very stringy, gummy. You'll end up getting that little white thing. There's even grittiness to the glitter, which I don't appreciate. So this was a big fail for me from Moira. Let me wipe this off and put on my preferred lip. So I just quickly put on the Tarte Quench Lip Rescue. I really love these. They're a little minty, they're very thin. I've talked about them before. I had the one in the shade Nude in my purse all week. This one is Salt Life. I think this was limited edition, but essentially any of the colors you find in that line are really nice. I love the packaging too. It's like recyclable cardboard, but it has all these fun prints. I think this is an excellent lip product by Tarte, and yeah, just wanted something comfortable on my lips since my eyeballs are uncomfortable. So that was essentially my week in makeup. So definitely some rediscovered loves, especially with that Merit and those So Soft products from M Cosmetics. I really, really adore them. Nice find from Rose Inc. I'm very interested in looking at the brand further and changing my mind on the eyebrow pencil. I think it looks pretty. And unfortunately, that Nomad palette, oh well. Hopefully this week I'll be able to pick completely different products and put together a good roundup for you next week. I hope everyone is doing well and has a great start to the week, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.